Are we on our last story of the open AI? Are we talking about open? Are we allowed? This is
We
scary.
can. We can.
I would like to.
Yeah, let's do it.
So AI, first off, I think I'm gonna I would love to hear your thought before we even get into this specific thing. The amount of money tied up in AI right now, both in an investment perspective, but also what it's gonna do to certain industries, is
Hmm.
incredible. Like I was recently dealing with a major media corporation, and um the guy that they have handling AI, first off, piece of shit. But also, he had like one seminar ever on AI. And I was like, okay, so you work in an industry literally defined by like your job is to take famous people and monetize them for like ads. And you're dealing with a technology that will essentially develop hyper likable,
Hmm.
non human entities that do not command high prices and will replace all these people. And you're dealing with SOAR AI, like all the film stars are going to be gone. Like all of this is going to go away. Your entire industry is going to go away. And your solution is to have one piece of shit dude go to one seminar for one of the largest media companies. Like that's your solution. And they were like, yes, we're on top of this. Uh, like I was talking to them, they didn't even understand. They were like, yeah, yeah. So we're just not going to upload images to AI. And I'm like, you're uploading images to Instagram. What are you
Yeah,
talking? You have images on the internet. Like
are
it
training on our data. Yeah,
it
they're
calls
training on.
everything. And they're like,
Yeah,
well, we're not gonna upload images where they're doing the things that they might want. And I'm like, no, they can make the people the images, they can make them whatever they want. And they're like, oh, I don't think that's really. I'm like, okay, first off, it is. Even if it wasn't, it's real next year. Or it's real in 2 years. Like betting billions with a B on you're betting against some of the greatest minds in the world to
mhm.
not develop a technology that will make them the wealthiest people in the world. Seems like a mistake. I just think this is ridiculous, and it's absurd. So let's do open AI. Just
I
I
think
just wanted to
it's
get that context.
so. I honestly, I feel like they just see the world trending in that way. These major media companies,
Yeah,
and that they're like, we're waving the white flag, like we just give up, like we're not even, we'll like
I
pretend
guess.
to care about certain protections, but this is just where things are trending, and like it will be so much cheaper to do things in this way. I still think we're a long ways away from like actors in all films being replaced, like I think at least like our generations, like I'm like, you're like Gen X, I'm a millennial.
Hurtful, hurtful. I am the oldest millennial. My God,
Are
I'm
you a millennial?
attacked.
I'm
I'm
a
the
millennial.
oldest millennial. I am
Okay,
Amy Schumer. I am Amy
you
Schumer. Yeah,
okay, okay.
she has a special called Elder Millennial. No, I was 82. Yeah.
So we okay, okay.
It literally just occurred to me I shouldn't give out my birthday. Sorry.
Oh my God. She has another data point on you now. Oh
She
God.
already knew.
So yeah, she already knew. So not she. I think that our generations, even like Gen Z, I think we still do care about like the human experience. I don't know what's going to happen with like younger generations and how, if like they're going to have robot boyfriends and girlfriends, and like you see with like these, there was another lawsuit a couple of months ago about this character.ai, about this boy who developed a relationship with
I
this
read that one. He
guy
committed
who,
suicide.
yeah,
Yeah.
he committed suicide, and then I think some other kid like killed his mom or something because an AI told him to do like sick, twisted shit. But I think yeah, they not everybody is going to be engaged in that, but I don't know, maybe they will just become accustomed, those younger generations, to something that is not human in their entertainment. Whereas I think we, at least, I mean, for as long as I live, I believe I will want to have humans representing human experiences, not just like a neural network spitting back out what they think a human experience is. But I don't know. Like it could just be trending like in such a direction that like capitalism could be trending in such a direction that it's just inevitable. And even like, so when I went viral on TikTok, I don't know if anyone has brought this up to you with YouTube, but some friend of mine who had worked at an AI company, he was like, you know, you could create an avatar of yourself, and
Yeah.
that's how you scale it, is that you basically just create a digital avatar, you have the AI create text, and then your avatar spits out the news, and then like that's how you're able to scale this as quickly as possible.
So
So
there
I,
are, yeah, yeah, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, like I, so I'm also more, I worked at Uber back in 2014 when everyone said self-driving cars were going to be everywhere and totally ubiquitous in 2020. It's almost 2025. Like we're nowhere close. Like yeah, Tesla has self-driving functionalities, and like there are some trucks that are self-driving and there are self-parking cars, but this whole idea that we're all going to be in self-driving cars, like largely that's just not true. So I think similarly with AI, maybe it's not a perfect like apples to apples comparison, but I think everyone who's like all actors will be AI generated by the year 2035, like I think that's a little bit like pie in the sky. I don't know. So I'm hopeful. I don't want to lose. I'm like a writer. I don't want to lose the human. Like I love reading raw memoirs from other humans and like the stuff that other humans have created. Like certainly I'll use AI to look stuff up or like ask ChatGPT a question or like be able to have, I guess, a greater knowledge base, right? With this giant supercomputer that we have. But like maybe it's yeah, I don't, maybe it's my hope rather than the reality, but I don't think that AI will totally take over so long as people still want human experiences and human connection.
Devil's advocate.
Yeah.
When I go back and forth to New York, my truck drives me. It is not a Cybertruck. Let me clarify, but my truck does drive me all the way to New York very, very well. Um, and right now there is a YouTube channel riffing on my channel, entirely AI generated hosts
Wow.
discussing cases, discussing my videos, messaging me for collaborations, human and AI generated host collaborations. It's like a thing they're actively approaching me about. And I have friends in that space who are, human artists, filmmakers who are viewing AI as this painter's palette. Like it's
Yeah.
still art. They're still the artist. The human artist is still in the loop, but they can make a film sans studio, right?
Right.
Like which is like, remember like the cell phone revolution where like you had filmmakers making films for 100 grand instead of 100 mil. Now it's like, yeah, I got a couple, I can make a film with Sora or whatever, right? Like, and
Yeah.
it's something we played with a little bit, even on the channel, being like, um, you can upload thoughts and it can create you a video that is more engaging, that has educational pictographs and graphs you can create the scenario like an HR scenario, like the creep walks up behind the woman and starts massaging her shoulders, and like you go through like all the permutations of that, but you don't need to hire actors. You don't need to hire, and
Yeah.
it's done in 20 minutes, and
But
you
I feel like
review it.
it's brilliant totally for like training tutorials, like what you're
Oh
saying.
yeah, well,
But I
training
just
videos are
never want
horrific.
my movies, like movies that make me cry or like, like things that are,
Yeah,
I don't know if I would ever want that to be replaced by AI. But to your point, I agree. It's a huge tool. Like
yeah,
I also think the idea of like human and AI collaboration is super interesting. So long as like the human isn't being totally cut out, unless it's something like so menial that the human doesn't want to be doing that, Like I think
yeah,
there are so many use cases where people don't actually want to be doing the thing. But I think like creativity and acting and writing and painting and like these are things that, and making music, that like humans like should want to be doing, right? Like
Yep,
as their highest form of self-actualization in a way. Um, so I think that that should never be completely taken away. But
I
I
agree.
definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
it is like an assistant. I think it's great.
maybe we'll get more time to do those things thanks to AI.
Yeah, could be. That's very true.
But we had somebody end up deceased over AI, I believe.
Yes, he was an engineer who worked at OpenAI, and he had basically whistleblown on the fact that he thought that OpenAI was violating a lot of copyright or infringing on copyright policy. And he was named a custodian in the New York Times lawsuit from last December,
Oh,
where the New York Times sued OpenAI for basically drawing on New York Times articles and scraping data to feed their model. And I still don't know, like, we don't know, you know, what exactly happened. It was a suicide. That's what the medical examiner said, that the
it's always
engineer,
suicide these days.
I
Every,
know, I know.
a lot of suicide going on.
Right. At the same time, like there's one whistleblower death in particular that I think is highly suspicious and like not an accident or a suicide. The others, like, it's sad to say, but you are so lonely when you're doing that type of thing, when you're like the only person who's speaking up about this, who then you start to feel maybe like it doesn't matter. Like OpenAI, it's inevitable that OpenAI just takes over anyway. So then you start to get nihilistic. And then you start to think, well, then if nothing matters, then if, why am I here? And I think it can be really difficult for people who don't have, and then they get fixated. I found with some people, and maybe you find this too in your work, like some people get so fixated on their case or like one specific person who's wronged them, or and they have no room for like living life outside of that.
Yep.
And they probably don't have, maybe they're seeing a therapist, but you never know what kind of therapy they're being able
Yep.
to access, and whether that's actually helping them, because it's a very like unique thing to whistleblow. So sadly, I was not surprised that he allegedly killed himself. Well, they're saying it was a suicide, but
Yeah. We've done a
yeah,
couple whistleblowing cases over the years. No Boeing, no open, no open AI. So, world, please leave me out of that.
yeah,
But I'll have experiences where it's like not, and it's like, okay, client, I'm gonna get you a car back to your place. I'm going home, right? And the client will be like, what do you mean? It's like it's them. We've done all the work. We're done. You're prepped. Like we're good. Nothing's happening tomorrow. We're all right. I'm gonna get your car home. Like, no. What do you mean? Like I can't. And she's like, no, you have to stop now. Like we need to take a break. We need to rest. And they can't. And it's I don't I'm very skeptical of all these suicides, but I also understand there is like a high level of something going on there that I'm sure I don't understand because I'm a layperson, not a mental health professional. But like, there's things where we're just like, hey, you have to eat. Can I? We're gonna have food delivered to your house. What?
yeah,
That
yeah,
you're not eating. We're gonna come show up early and make sure you shower. And it's like easy to describe a person because oh, that person's not even engaging in hygiene. That's not what's happening. That
yeah.
person's under so much stress that the little things like food and hygiene are
Mhm.
slipping. And it's not like they're not whistleblowing because they're mentally ill. They're whistleblowing and it is harming their mental health. That
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's so I don't listen. I don't believe these suicides, but there's also a weird thing where
Yeah,
you're doing a very difficult, very brave thing, and
yeah,
I don't know. I definitely have a buddy that his spouse is fairly high up at Boeing.
yeah.
He does not appreciate my jokes about
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my God.
literally. I think I've watched him like consider punching me in the face, and I just need to be better. I need to be a better friend because I'm
I
like,
love I love that all your friends are getting like a little spicy about all your feature in the cut this summer and your jokes.
I got in trouble. I was at a wedding in Portugal.
Yeah.
And when that article like broke, and a guy at the wedding like approached me and was, dude, what the fuck? Like, why did you do this to me? And I was like, I wasn't talking about you. And he was, bro, come on. Like, it's clearly me. And I was like, all right, but I didn't name you. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kept it anonymous. And it was just like,
That was a great article for you, Vince. You were all over that article.
was not a great article because you get called stuff you know about, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
I don't want somebody's dating NDA. Like, if you've
Yeah.
been sexually harassed in the workplace, by all means. But like, there's just, and then how do you tell people like, I don't want to help you? It's hard,
Right.
right? Like, it's kind of a shitty thing to say, and there's no one who does that work. So I don't want to help you, but like Sabrina will, or whatever. Like, there's nobody who does like, there should somebody an attorney who does dating NDA like aftermath. Yeah, there's certainly people who do them on the way in.
Totally.
Um, I don't know. We cover everything.
I think we did.
Think we
We covered
did. I
a
hope
lot.
this was an okay time for you. I don't want your time. I know your time
No,
is
it
very
was
valuable.
great. It was so great. Thank you for having me.
You have stories to tell. All of your links are going to be down below. We're going to have your full link tree because I think I've always believed that your work is more important than my work. I'm just playing whack-a-mole. I can go rip money out of bad people, one situation at a time, but your stories can actually change society. Like, stories are how we get traction on the human psyche. And so I think that you are changing hearts and minds. I am just playing whack-a-mole. And so I
Oh,
appreciate you.
we're partners in this work. But I think it's all about, you look at like how the most powerful people in the world shape things, and it's through changing reality through stories, and almost like then things fall into place, and money is a piece of that for sure, and then the story has to turn into something that's actually real. But I've always thought if we could flip the script a little bit and give like that power to change the narrative to people who are on the like lesser end of the power imbalance
Yeah.
spectrum, that I don't know, the world would just be a little more like livable, and people could feel like they have agency. Like, I just want people to feel like they matter, I guess.
I've seen you provide that over and over and over again. And I got to say, it's been tremendous working with you.
You
If
too.
someone, I recommend you enough, without question, without question.
Thank you so
And I'm
much.
excited for your fiction. I'm very
Yes,
excited. And for the
yes,
nonlinear love project, I'm very excited for that.
yes. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, this was so
Everybody,
great.
thank you so much for coming on. Everybody, like, subscribe, comment down below. Please go to Ari's content. It's fantastic. And if you ever want to come back on, we'd love to have you.